Welcome to Lesson 12, Part 1 of our interactive notes. Okay, if we turn to our table of contents, Lesson 12 is multi-step word problems with addition and subtraction, and we turn to pages 31 and 32. So here's Lesson 12, multi-step word problems, addition, subtraction. Our content objective is 4.OA, operations of algebraic thinking for 4th grade. A3, I can use what I know about addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving whole numbers. Language objective, I can look at keywords and problem-solving steps to solve multi-step word problems. Social objective, I can work with others to create a model to prove the solution to multi-step word problems. So we have some vocabulary words here. First, multi-step word problems. Multi means many, so many steps to solve this word problem. Word problems that involve doing more than one operation to find the solution to the question asked. So here we have an example. There are 9 4th grade classes with 25 students each. If 12 4th grade students are absent today, how many 4th graders are at school? So first, that's not 9, that's 4. First you have to multiply to figure out how many total 4th grade students there are. Then you subtract how many are absent. So there's 2 operations you have to do. That's the multi-step, more than one thing to find the final solution. Equal, having the same value or amount, is the same as. 56 divided by 7 is the same as 8. You could think of it as a balance. They are the same on each side. They just may look a little different. And it doesn't matter which side of the equal sign. Expression, a math phrase without an equal sign. X plus 20, 50 times 30. An expression has no equal sign. An equation does have an equal sign. Okay, so here we have addition, subtraction. In here we have different clue words that you may find in a word problem that will let you know you're going to add or subtract. This is not all of them, and they don't work every time, but it can give you an idea. Plus, added to, both, some, more than, more, combined, longer than, older than, join, gain, bigger than, perimeter, together, total, and increased by. Those, if you see any of those words, you're going to use addition. Okay, subtraction. Less, subtracted from, difference, less than, take away, remaining, decreased by, fewer, how many more, how many left, take away, minus, reduce. So these are all words that can be used to let you know to subtract. Okay, so we're going to use from our very first day on our reference page our cubes. If you look at the back, the very front, very first thing reference page, the back of it, cubes. C stands for circle the numbers. U stands for underline the problem. B says box around keywords. E, eliminate any unnecessary information, and S, solve. So the word cubes helps us to know what to do. So first, C, circle our numbers. Tom's family took a road trip. During the first week, they drove 806 miles. The second week, they drove the same amount as the first week, plus an additional 395 miles. Okay, here are keywords right here, plus and additional. And the same amount. Those are key phrases in this case. Underline our question. How many miles did they drive during the second week? How many? So we're trying to find a total there. E, eliminate any unnecessary information. Tom's family took a road trip. That information right there is not going to help us with solving this problem. Everything else does. So we've circled our numbers. We've underlined our question. We've boxed keywords or key phrases. And now we're going to look at what we're going to be solving. So first, how many miles did they travel during the second week? So we do not know the total, because the first thing we ask with the word problem, do we know the total? Yes or no. When it is no, then it's going to be addition or multiplication. Are we joining different amounts of groups or equal groups? It's different amounts, so it's going to be addition. If we do know the total, we either subtract or divide. So we don't know, we're trying to find the total. That's what we're going to do. Miles driven the second week. Well, this says the second week they drove the same amount as the first week. Well, what did they drive the first week? During the first week they drove 806 miles. Miles driven, and then plus an additional 395 miles. So first we have to figure out what the first week was. And then this additional amount. Make sure you line up from the, so ones, tens, hundreds, line up. We always line up from the ones. 6 plus 5, 11, we regroup. 1 plus 0 plus 9 is 10, we regroup. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. Then starting from the ones place, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now this particular problem, we only had one operation, but we did have the step of trying to figure out what the first week was and the additional. So now let's answer the question. The question was, how many miles did they drive during the second week? Tom's family drove 1,201 miles the second week of the trip. Okay, always answer in a complete sentence. Complete sentence also has a capital at the beginning and punctuation at the end. And it must match what's being asked. How many miles did they travel during the second week? Tom's family drove 1,201 miles the second week of the trip. That answer goes with this question. Make sure they always match. Okay, our next problem. So we're going to look for numbers to circle. A company has 3 locations with 6,020 employees all together. That's an important phrase. Their first location, so the first one, has 34,746 employees. Their second location has 393 employees. How many employees work in their third location? So we want to know how many at their third location. So we're looking at how many, which we see all throughout here a couple of times, how many. And we have, so we know our total amount. We really don't need to know that the company has 3 locations. That's extra information. That 3 is not really going to help us. Just knowing that there's first, second, third. We know how many total employees there are. So when we know the total, we're going to subtract or divide. Are we making equal size groups? No. So we definitely are subtracting. But first, we have to figure out how many employees are at the 2 locations we do know about. So first, we have to figure out that total. We don't know that total. So we're going to either add or multiply to get that total. And since they're unequal groups, we're going to add first, then we're going to subtract. So those are our 2 operations we're looking at. Total amount of employees, we have 60,020. In our first location, 34,746. So these are those comparison bars that we've done before, that we need to have this match this. They need to match up. Second location is 15,393, and we don't know the third. That's what we're trying to find out. So that one's a question mark. So first we have to put these 2 together. We have to join these together. So we're going to add. Make sure you line up from the ones. Even the commas line up. 6 plus 3 is 9. I jumped ahead. 9 plus 4, I'm going to regroup below this time, is 13. 7 plus 3, that right there makes a 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so altogether this makes a 10. 3, 4, 5. Starting from the ones, 1, 2, 3, comma on the paper, not on the computer. So we know this total, but to figure out this amount, we need the difference. We need to take this, subtract out the employees that are at other places, and we'll find out how many are left that work at the third location. So now we're doing that subtraction. So we have a total amount of 60,020. And we need to line it from the ones. 9, 30, 100, comma, 0, 50,000. Now we're going to need to regroup. More on the floor. Go next door. Regroup 10 more. So I'm taking 1 10 away from here. So that leaves 1. And I'm adding it to 0. 10 plus 0 is 10. More on the floor. Go next door. Regroup 10 more. I don't have any, so I need to go to the first non-zero number. 600, take away 1 is 599. We have 599 tens here. 599 hundreds. I take that 10 tens plus the 1 10, and we get 11. More on top, no need to stop. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros the game. So 10 take away 9 is 1. 11 take away 3. I don't always think of subtracting, I think of adding. What do I add to 3 to get up to 11? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I add up 8 to get to 11. So 11 take away 3 is 8. 9 take away 1 is 8. 9 take away 0 is 9. 5 take away 5 is 0, but I don't need to put a placeholder because it's not holding a place between numbers, between digits, or between a digit and a decimal. So now we found it. Here is our final solution. We had to do 2 steps to get to it. So now to answer the question, how many employees work in their third location? There are 9,881 employees who work at the third location. Always have a capital at the beginning of your sentence and punctuation at the end. Make sure your answer matches your question. How many employees work in their third location? There are 9,881 employees who work at the third location. Those go together. All right, so now it's time for part 2 with your 3-column notes.